Hello and welcome. This is our final podcast. It's going to be a combined podcast with 3 and 4. It's going to be about social life and home life. If you forgot our voices, I'm Zach.
I'm Freya.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Maddie.
I'm Emma.
What up? I'm Justin.
I'm Navdana.
Alright, so thanks for tuning in. Hi, this is Zach from the future. I'm editing this podcast and I'm just kind of here to say that basically this was a very, very long recording that we've done. It was probably one of the longest because it was 2 in 1. So this was a 2-hour video. So I'm just here to say that basically I'm not going to edit it as in depth as I did in the previous ones where I've been editing almost every second word or every space in between breaths so that I can make it seem more seamless. I'm going to let this one kind of run a bit just so that you can, I don't know, sit back, relax and just listen to this entire podcast in its sincerity and how we as friends were talking about this situation and different topics. And so yeah, that's just a heads up, I guess.
Alright, so the first thing that we have up from our survey is that we asked everyone how many genuine friendships they think they had at school. It seems pretty over half, almost half the people said that they think they have 5 or more genuine friendships. And I feel like genuine friendships is just like people that you really connect with and you talk with outside of school as well. Like not just people that you sit next to.
When you say friendship, you just mean like one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how many people you are friends with, and really you would
you'd hang out with them
trust
outside.
them, you know. And
I don't trust nobody.
You have to
and from there on, it's usually between.
I don't even trust God.
Okay.
From there on, it's usually 10-20% saying anywhere between 1, 2, 3, or 4 genuine friendships, but overall it's skewed positively. Most people believe that they have more. Shut up, Maddie.
We did set the bar pretty far, on the ground. 5 friendships does not seem like a ton.
Yeah, the bar was low, but but that's good for us, you know. It's over 50% of people at FIS, at least in the high school, feel pretty good about that. I think
According to our data. So we did some outside research, and according to CDC.gov, social connections with other people can help improve your ability to recover from stress, anxiety, and depression, promote healthy eating, physical activity and weight, improve sleep, well-being, and quality of life, reduce your risk of violent and suicidal behaviors, and prevent death from chronic diseases.
Having genuine connections with people is really beneficial, not just emotionally and mentally, it's also beneficial to physically as well. Your health is really important, you know.
Okay, this is from Harvard Health, and other health benefits are longevity, which means being social productive, which are associated with chronic diseases and premature death. And also, it's a stress reduction. And it improves your mood.
I think this also kind of fits to what we were talking about, with school, workload and with pressure. Because if you have friends, then you may have someone to talk to or who can kind of hear you out if you're stressed about something, and it just makes you feel a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have that, it doesn't feel so great.
Okay, how many friends does everyone have?
That's generally speaking, in terms of I mean, it's really vague with good friendships. We said good friendships, but
we said genuine friendships.
Genuine friendships.
Who you think is true, like what we said earlier when we were genuine friendships. We meant people that you have real connections to and people that you can trust with personal things, you know.
I say in the school I have maybe based on what we have, I definitely have more than 6 good genuine friendships. Mm-hmm. So I'd have a lot, I'd say.
Yeah.
But I think close friends can only really be defined by yourself, kind of what Emma was saying. It depends on what you think is a good friend.
Yeah, it depends on your own personal values about people, you know.
I think I have 5 genuine friends. Although I could say I have 10, but those there's certain people that even though I hang out with, I don't fully trust.
But how would you say that? How would you say that these genuine friends that you have helped you, as in terms of coming back to the whole this is a mental health podcast. Mm-hmm. So coming back to the whole side of mental health, kind of I guess I know a lot of my friends have been able to be there for me in I guess dark times and kind of just make me laugh about it or
exactly. It's the people that can make you feel good when you feel bad.
And I think that's
I feel when you have a friendship, but there's also those friendships where you just laugh with someone and that's just what it is and it's valuable as it is.
Yeah,
that's
just
different purposes for different relationships.
Yeah. But I think I'm definitely grateful for a lot of my friends that have just like, because you can't like with other like with people that aren't described as your genuine friends, you can't laugh about like say you experience some sort of like loss or like of a family member or something. You can't laugh about that with a regular friend. But if they're like a genuine friend and they make some sort of like joke to help you cope with it, everyone's laughing right now by the way. Like if they it's hard to explain, but like basically like
Someone that gets you.
someone that understands your humor that you can laugh with about dark situations,
Yeah.
basically.
That are gonna be there. Except while also.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that's a really great thing about like having like a genuine like connection with someone that you know like you can rely on or that like you can like fall back on, especially if like something in your life is like really hard or like you need help with something like that.
Being new at the school, it was like I consider my friends the people that like include me into like the I don't know how to say like the community or the other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like kind of lucky that I had some friends that helped like that helped me to know the other people.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would say I have like 4 or 5 also. So.
Definitely, and I would say I share a similar perspective also being new. I also have a lot of friends that aren't from here though, so I still talk with a lot of my friends from the United States. And when I fly back, I go hang out with them. So, but yeah, I mean, you definitely do have a few of those people that you can really talk to about anything. You know, and it's slightly different than your other friends. And those are the ones that really help you get through stuff sometimes. Although that's not discrediting the other friends you can have. Because, of course, sometimes laughing about stuff that's not related to anything can help. You know, so, but I would agree on the fact that it's nice that, honestly, the community is pretty welcoming. And it's nice to know that you have people there, you know.
So we've just talked about like how like having friends can be beneficial to you, but now another question was, are there problems or tensions between the people in your friend group specifically? And we would want to touch on how that can affect people as well, like having a lot of issues between the people that you like are very close with. So over 50% of people in our high school said that there aren't often problems or tensions between people, which is good, but and then again, like it shows that they still happen. 18% of people said that it happens often, just like a lot of like tension between people in the friend group. And only about 20% of people said that there's never problems or tension. So
Yeah, I think that's something that we kind of failed to like ask, because we didn't really ask, are you part of a friend group? Because like I personally like I don't think I am, in terms of like I don't like as in I used to have like this massive friend group, and then like over 4 years they all like started to leave because obviously we're in international school, right? And so now I'm left with like a lot of people that I've known really well that we used to be in like this massive friend group, and now like they've joined their own friend groups, and I've like done whatever, and I hang out with like a lot of people, but like I don't necessarily appoint myself to one specific friend group.
I would agree. I'm pretty similar in terms of that.
Like
I
I'm like
never
accepted
really
in
was.
all of them, but
Yes.
I'm not like
Accepted.
like I'm just like I'm not close friends. We're not in like a tight circle. It's just like a tight circle plus Zach. That's really sad. But like no. But then like outside of school. But like outside of school, like at the climbing gym, like I've got like a solid friend group that like we don't really have any problems ever, because we don't have, high school problems, I guess. So
It's real, actual, mature people and adults that know how to
Yeah.
manage it.
It's so weird. We kind of all live like a double life. Like we have all these people here in our friend groups here, and then abroad, like most of us.
yeah, that's just
Or
kind
you
of how it is
have
in
like a
international
separate
schools.
friend group outside. Like
Yeah.
it's so crazy.
So,
Most people can handle that.
yeah, but like I think the main focus of like what this question was is so it could give us an opportunity to talk about like how it can like negatively or maybe positively affect you when there's like a lot of stuff going on in your friend group, or if things
Yeah.
are complicated, or if people are arguing, or maybe you're the one arguing. I don't know.
Look, I can definitely say I've had some, especially when they're overseas, I've had some pretty difficult things to deal with regarding people that I don't see much anymore, or that have expectations to see me and I don't have time for it when I'm back. It can be difficult and it can take a toll on you mentally 100%. It can make things that or situations that normally wouldn't be stressful because you're thinking about other things.
Yeah.
You're not really focused on what you're doing. You're thinking about like, wow, like maybe I made this person feel upset. What do I do? How do I approach this? And it kind of it can consume you sometimes, because you don't want to lose the friends that you have around you or hurt somebody's feelings.
Mhm.
So
yeah, I know that in like Australia, like the year that I left and came to Germany, a lot of my friends, I had a solid friend group in Australia, and then when I left and people started getting older, certain people started doing drugs, and some of them just like didn't, right? And so a lot of them started becoming like some of them now have like dropped out and either working in like construction or something. But the thing was that it kind of split the friend group into two different groups, which were considered, like in my head at least, were the ones that didn't do drugs and the ones that did do drugs, right? But the thing was that like it kind of negatively impacted me when I went back to Australia to like visit them, because like I obviously wanted to see all my friends again. I wanted to like do what we used to do like back in like 2019 or something, like when we would all collectively fill out the entire movie cinema like row or something like that, right? And then like you just couldn't do that anymore, and it was like I guess everyone in that friend group as well negatively was affected, because like I want to hang out with this person but I can't because they're friends with this person, they're siding with this person. It's literally picking sides.
Very
I
true.
had
Yeah.
that too, like when I moved away from Romania, my friend group kind of like fell apart a bit, like without me there, and it was kind of sad to like come back and like want it to be like it used to be, and it was, and that affected me badly, you know.
For me, like in Malaysia, like my friend group is still friends with each other for the most part. For the most part, but then also like seeing those like Instagram posts of them like hanging out, because I can't really go back to Malaysia because that's like really
Far.
hard. Like I could, but like it's like a lot of work. Like seeing them all like hang out together, like still the same people, I guess, can like sometimes be like, oh, like what if I was still there like with that
Yeah, you always think of that.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from like a person who's been at this school for like basically her entire life, it's also friendships do fall apart, and friendship groups do fall apart even if you don't leave.
Yeah.
Just because of these like little things. Like I've changed my friends so many times, and things are always changing just because of these like little things that fall apart. Or someone new will come and that changes everything. Like, yeah.
I agree as well, because I've been here since like middle of elementary school. Yeah.
That's so crazy. You would think if you stayed in one place, you'd have like 4 life friends that you
No.
made since
Because again,
like
like
you were a child.
that may be the case in like an in like a like local school, I guess, like in some like rural like town, but in international schools, like people are always coming and going, and like it's like people like all are constantly like growing apart, you know, like you grow apart or like you grow back together. I know for me personally,
growing up, no?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I know for me and Freya personally, like a lot of the times, like for like tensions and problems in the friend group, like we've definitely had our share of like other people, like in like people that we're friends with have like a lot of problems, but then we just get like dragged into it,
Yeah.
and like it's just like sometimes you don't really
Because they want you to pick a side. Like they
Yeah.
want you to
Or,
like side
like
with someone.
sometimes you don't want to be involved at all, but like people like again like when you have friends, you want to look for support on like if you're having a problem with someone else, you want to know that other people agree with your perspective, you know.
Yeah. But like I feel like with friend groups that like for example, if you're out of school for like 8 years or something, it's just kind of with those same people. Like with like friend groups that like you've had for like 8 years that you see like every single day, I feel like those can be kind of like harder in a way, cause like you're always changing and you're always like seeing them every single day, like, and you see them change, I guess. But whereas like for people that you like, for example, for me, like I have a friend who I've known since I was like basically born, and I see her basically every summer, but because we only see each other like once every summer, but we still like talk every day basically, we've been able to keep that friendship because
I
But-
think
So then, would we say that like it really hasn't negatively affected us as much as friend groups falling apart and having issues?
Yeah.
I think it's also if your friendship groups fall apart, you can really kind of see who your really true friends are, because there's some people I've known since I first got to school, and I would still consider myself good friends with
Like
them.
there's people that kind of stick with you.
Yeah, you always have like
Yeah,
the
I feel like
constant
there's
people.
I've seen like this thing like I get like on a lot of social media platforms, it's like they try to like make things that are like relatable. So like I see things as like posts where it's like there's always the two friends, and then there's like in the trio there's always the duo.
I have like 2 very big friend groups, like from since I was like very young, and we grew up like all together, like me and my friends and me and my other friends, and now I went back during winter break. I mean it's all the same as when I left, so it's not like
Yeah.
So you would say you wouldn't really have like you aren't like negatively affected by your friend group.
it's just the same.
Because you're just chilling.
Yeah. All right. So the next question we had asked was, would you consider yourself to have an active social life? So around 80% of people said like yes or like kind of, you know, and about Yeah, the other 20% just said like not really or not at all. What about you? Like, how do you think that having an active social life or not having an active social life would impact your mental health?
I think it depends definitely on like what time it is. So sometimes I have a lot of time to do stuff with my friends, other times not. Yeah, like this past week I've been super busy, and then that also has impacted me because firstly I feel like I'm missing out on stuff, and then it also you don't have that opportunity to de-stress. You only have to think about work or other things.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that like I have a very active social life when it comes to like me interacting with people, because it's something that I like doing. And when I moved to Germany, I remember like that was a big issue for me because like I can't just generally speaking talk to people because I didn't speak the language.
I think I have an active social life, but also I think that not having an active social life is not something bad. Maybe also because, how can I say it? Because like it depends on the person's like personality. Because if you're not a very open person,
Yeah, like
then
if
maybe
you're more introverted, like
you enjoy being alone, and that's fine.
Yeah, but what we learned in like psychology, right, is that like all our teacher talks about is that like we need social human interaction or you will literally go crazy, because basically the thing is like even people that like being alone, they still have one friend that they communicate in their own way, like sending them memes or something, or like just the interaction aspect of it is what keeps us sane regardless of how antisocial you think you are.
Yeah, and kind of tying into like the interactions with people. Another question we asked is just like generally how often like do you go out with your friends, or like over almost 60% of people said that they go out like sometimes with their friends, like a couple times I guess, like every month. A lot
But
of
going
people
out, what is that?
Wait, that's kind of what I was talking
say
about
interacting
earlier.
with your friends, like talk what?
Like outside of school.
Yes.
Harvard Health says to reach out to your friends.
That was a great contribution, Maddie.
That was moving.
Yeah, and like a quarter.
Keep up the connection.
Yeah, and like a quarter of the people said that like they often go out with their friends, or like they always do, and like very few people said that they never go out with their friends.
Wait, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier when I was saying like it depends on the week. Can you like?
Yeah. Again, it like really depends on like time wise. But like Freya said earlier, with how like it depends on the week or like the time wise. Sometimes that is again a very. It's like if you're all in the same grade, like people will understand that more. But I feel like for me, like going out with my friends is just like it definitely is beneficial to me because it kind of just boosts my mood, you know. Like if I'm having like a bad week or something and I've just been constantly stressed and I get like this one day where I'm able to just like, well, I've gotten all my stuff done and I just want to go out and like hang out with my friends, like that's definitely something that really helps me because I just like.
I think it helps you because it helps you take your mind off.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like you forget all some things like for at least sometimes always like.
Yeah.
It's really nice to get that release.
Yeah.
Conjunction.
What was that?
Oh yeah, but would you guys say that like generally it like is beneficial to like your health or like your like mindset or whatever if you like interact with
I
people?
think it depends
No.
on what people you interact with. Like if your
Like
friends
friends, yeah.
kind of like make you feel more sad and make you like go deeper in your mental like issues, then obviously it's not beneficial. But in our school, I think that doesn't come with
Oh, we're talking about social interactions outside of school now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think it's definitely beneficial in terms of like getting your mind away from school. Like you need that. Everyone talks about work-life balance, or like in our case it's school and life balance, and so everyone like needs a balance between their social interactions and then their school stuff, because without it it's definitely dangerous. I think Maddie has probably got some like sort of statistic on that, but it's fine. But basically it's just like you need the balance between it, and so having that social interaction outside of school definitely benefits, at least in my opinion, it benefits me a lot when it comes to not killing myself.
Relatable.
On that note, we're gonna end the part about social interactions and we're gonna start on the part where we ask questions about home life.
Yeah, so this is a bit more serious of a topic here, so just keep that in mind.
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning, I guess.
The first question we asked is kind of like tied as well to like expectations and like pressure and grades and schoolwork, because I thought that kind of like just like brought all the topics kind of like into this one. So we asked like, how do your parents react when you get like a bad grade or like what they consider to be a bad grade? We had a surprising amount of people. I think we thought it was like a bit different. We had 40% of people say that their parents are very neutral if they get a bad grade, like they just don't mind that much. But then also, we had almost 45% of people saying that like their parents react like negatively if they get a bad grade. And then we had almost 10% of people saying that their parents react very negatively. And there were other various responses. We did leave an option for like a short answer, like reply. But a lot of people in general just said like it depends on like the parents' like mood, it depends on what the grade was, like it depends on like how the student reacts as well. Yeah, like there's a lot of variables that involve like how your parents would react when you get that. Because I know for me personally, my parents, if I get a bad grade and I'm clearly upset about it in front of my parents and I'm like, yeah, that shouldn't have happened, like I'm really annoyed about that grade as well and I'm gonna like fix it, my parents are less mad about it because they know that like
they know
I'm
that you're
willing.
gonna try and
Yeah, they know that I'm willing to like step it up. But like if I get a bad grade or like a really bad grade, and then like I'm just like, yeah, well it is what it is. My parents get like really mad about that because they're like, well you should be trying harder, like applying yourself and stuff. What about you guys?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if it's not a 7, the bell comes out. And it's
I think.
I mean, we're laughing, but like.
I think for me, so since grades recently came out, I was just really disappointed in my grade in German, even though it's like good, just because I felt I could do better.
Oh yeah, real quick.
And then
just because all of us just got our grades, what was our weighted GPAs?
7.08.
You're joking.
Weighted, yeah.
7.08. You're upset.
No, because of
How can I
because of
know?
my German grade.
I don't care
Because of
about
my
that.
German grade, I got a 5 in German, and I was
I
really
didn't even
disappointed
calculate
about
it. I
that.
don't even know what
And
it
my
is.
parents also were disappointed because they knew I could do better.
I have
Oh yeah, but as I
vodka
was
in my
saying, even though my grade was pretty decent, my parents were still kind of disappointed because they knew I could do better, and they were also kind of surprised because they thought I was doing well, and then just to see something that doesn't reflect the effort you put in is really like frustrating for them
It's
as well as me.
horrible.
Yeah.
So would you say like it's for you? It's like more like disappointment than like
Yeah.
anger? Yeah.
And especially if they know that could do better.
Yeah. What about you guys? Like, do your parents like not really care, or like is it more like disappointment, or are they mad?
I remember like back when I was younger and like maybe like early years of like high school and like before that as well. My mom would always like tell me and my brother that like she does not care as to what our grade is as long as she knows that we're trying like our best, right? Thing was that when it came to like things with like my dad or something, there was always going to be like I would get. When it came to things like my dad, it would always be like if I got like if I got like a good grade, it could be a good grade, right? But it would always be like, why wasn't it enough, right?
Yeah.
And it was always like,
Sometimes it's just like, well, if you got 98% on a test, it's like, okay, well, why couldn't you get 100?
and that's what really annoyed me back like then was that like when I would get a really good grade, my mom would really like kind of tell me like, oh, like you did good because your effort was there, but she didn't care that much about the grade. And then I would show the same thing to my dad, and he wouldn't care about my effort. He'd care about the grade and that it wasn't high enough. So the only care that I got for the grade itself was that it wasn't good enough. So that was really annoying to me when I was young because I would always try like to get the highest mark possible and it would still like not be enough. So
That's something I
is
feel
that a dog?
He was
Yes.
snoring.
Okay, but like that's something I definitely feel like is like a big
Sorry.
like thing between parents. Like, they either focus on like the effort or they focus on the number, and that can be negative or positive for like either parent, like depending on how they choose to react to it. But I feel like those are the main things that like the parents focus on. Like it's either the number you get or the effort you put in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what?
So basically, I think it's also like their expectations. I like, for example, when I used to be in Romania, I kind of like slacked off because of like my mental issues and like addictions and things. And so then now my parents are like grateful for me doing like the normal amount of work. Like I don't even put in that much work. I kind of just get the grades I get.
Yeah.
And they're good enough.
If you're hearing
Also
the
like the parents.
underlying like weird buzzing noise, it's the dog sleeping underneath the table.
You can't hear that on the video.
You
You
can.
probably can.
Okay, sorry. Anyone?
So continue the interjection.
No,
I mean,
Wait, he's gonna forget.
In my case, it's the same as Zach, that my parents, if they consider I really tried to get a good grade, and then it's not that good. It's okay because they consider I really tried.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they think I didn't study enough or then that's
Then
the
they
problem.
matter, yeah.
What about you, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, so like on a real note, I mean, my dad obviously. I used to care a lot as an individual when I was a younger, like 6th, 7th grade used to be tough because like, you know, if it wasn't in the 90s, I would be extremely unhappy percentage wise, which is here like a 6-ish. But I hit a point where I've kind of relaxed really, and my parents, they cared, but especially now, like as long as I'm not like failing in essence, like it's not that big of a deal, and I kind of just rely on my own work ethic and whatnot to just kind of get things done, and it's just kind of the way it is, honestly, for me. I'm never really aiming for anything crazy high, so
Yeah.
you know, and the expectations are not that I perform as like the best student in the world. It's more of just like just kind of get through it and waiting for the next step. You know.
The next one is, well, I feel like this one is quite vague, but the question asks is like, do you have a good relationship with your parents? And the options are just yes or no, which I feel like it definitely could have been like a more like complex. Like,
Okay, can we
Could
say
you
our
elaborate?
answer and then explain it so that we can
Yeah.
But maybe
But I
like
feel like
one by
okay,
one.
because about 10%, only about 10% of people that responded said that they don't have a good relationship with their parents. But on like
10%.
yeah, and about 90% said that they do have a good relationship with their parents. But again, it is the kind of thing where like some people, even though the survey was anonymous, some people just aren't comfortable with like admitting that or saying that.
The other
Like,
thing
They
is
haven't
that
accepted it.
a lot of times you can have a good relationship with one of your parents, and the other one not so much. You know, that's a huge point too, because I know with me, like I have a fantastic relationship with my dad. Like there's literally it's as good as it gets in my eyes. And with my mom, it's not necessarily the same. Granted, she does live across the world, and she's a fine person. I'm not anything against her. It's just I don't agree with the decisions she's made, and it's like it makes it tough to like on a personal level see this eye to eye with everything, you know. So, but like I said, I don't actually have a bad relationship with her. That's not any mean, you know. It's just not as good as I would consider my dad's relationship with my
It's
dad.
definitely complex because like your parents like they're two completely different people, you know.
Yes.
In contrast, like I feel like everyone has a preferred parent in terms of like for what they choose. So for academics, it's like this person's a lot less strict, or this one's a lot better if I want to ask them if I can go out on the weekend or something, right? In my case, like I have an amazing relationship with my mom, like one of the best, I think. Like just it's a really good relationship with my mom, and then like my dad was abusive, so not a good relationship with him at all. Quite the opposite, in fact, and he fucked up a lot of stuff about like our like family life and everything, and so that's definitely been like what negatively affected a lot of like my schoolwork or getting things done. So yeah, that's definitely something that was a bit of a large issue.
Yeah. I feel like for me personally, it's like the same. Like, I would say I have a pretty okay relationship with like my mom, but like my relationship with my dad is definitely a bit more strained. And like that, again, it depends on like a really large variety of factors. Like maybe you just don't get along in general. Like there could just be issues like anywhere in your relationship with your parents, and like that you're again like you're two people. Like you can grow apart, you can grow closer. It really depends like on the person and like the people, you know.
Yeah, but how does this it negatively affects you because of the way that your parents are towards you, right?
Yeah.
The
Anyone else?
rest of us?
Well, yeah.
It's like a good like almond joy.
I don't know. Like,
Okay, wait, Lataro and then Maddie.
In my case, I consider I have a very good relationship with both of them. Maybe for some things I prefer one of them, and maybe for other things I prefer the other one. But yeah, basically, I love them so.
Yeah.
You know.
That
For
makes me
I
happy to
feel-
hear that somebody's got.
Someone's got a nice relationship with both parents.
For me, I feel like I have a pretty good relationship with my parents. Like, obviously, probably better with one than the other. I'm not gonna like say which one. I'm scared that they're gonna like watch this. But yeah. But like for different things, I'll go to one parent for it. Whereas like the other one, maybe I'll go for like more emotional things, and the other one more like practical stuff.
Emma, like, what would you say about like that relationship with your parents question? In general, like, would you say like you have a better relationship with one than the other, or like is it kind of the same?
harder for the kids that have like a rougher relationship with their parents at school and like even with friendships, because you don't have that like thing to fall back on.
Yeah.
Like normal kids with like a normal home life, they always go back home and they can complain about their friends there and everything.
Yeah.
But some kids don't like have that closure and like that amount of closeness with people at home. They don't have that safeness, and that's why I think that like disadvantaged, just in life in general, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, I think what like really resonates with me is just like one quote that's like, every child deserves a parent, but not every parent deserves a child.
For sure.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Like, it's harder when you have a bad day at school and you want to tell it to your friends, but you talk too much. So then you just go home and then you just... and then you just go home and you like get abused.
It's like, you're complaining at school, you're really tired and like sick of
That's what happens.
You go home and you just get beat.
I had a bad day. You know what? Boom. I just tell the truth, but telling the truth is crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's
You go home,
it's something that like I feel like a lot of people like we laugh about it because it's just something that's so absurd when you say it out loud. It's like what like Mom, Jimmy died today, belt. Like it's like
You can't put this on.
We can. Like
No,
it's
this is
go
gonna
in
cut
my
out.
No, you
Water.
should.
No, I can't say that while I'm drinking Sprite. I had it in my mouth.
No, because it's just the thing is like it's just the way that some people have to deal with it, right? And like it's while we're talking
you
about
laugh
it.
about it and you feel better.
While we're talking about it as like a very dark topic, we're laughing about it. It doesn't negate the fact that it's a dark topic, right? Like we're talking about
And
it.
it doesn't mean we're disrespecting the topic necessarily.
Yeah.
It just means we're like, laughing about our own trauma. Like.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about like the school counselors? Do you think you can like trust them to talk about
I
issues?
trust my counselors.
I don't fuck with school counselors.
Usually, I'm not gonna talk to my counselors about anything like personal related, only school stuff. Like if
There's
I'm having
only
trouble
so
with
much.
a teacher, then
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like-
If I were to go to a counselor, it would be over school stuff, not.
Because
Yeah.
if I
Like,
when
I
I've
go to
like
counselors over school stuff all the time.
previously like I've gone to like counselors like in the past when I've been like having like in a really bad mental state.
Same. I've gone to a counselor when I was like low,
But the thing is, like, I never like told, like, I didn't lie. I just told them bits of what. So, for instance, say something was bothering me and something was adding to this, which made me feel this way. I would just tell them that the initial thing that was bothering me is what's making me feel this way.
Yeah.
Because, like, if they hear that this thing, they're gonna be like, either like depending
You
on
don't
what
want
this could
them
have
to
been. it's
judge
like-
you and like have that in the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So no, I think the general consensus is that we do need to speak with counselors just for the better help of everyone. But at the same time, people don't
All
really
that
trust it.
counselors do is just tell you like to go to therapy and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
get your own therapy.
Like
and
school
you-
counselors, in my opinion, I don't really talk to them about anything like personal. Like there have been like times where like people have told me like I should, or like there's like they're like oh you need to talk to like a counselor about this, or like you should really like reach out like that. But like in my opinion, like I don't really feel like it would be super beneficial for me. Anyway, do you have someone that you can have open conversations with at home or like in school or outside of school? Like we were kind of like more like a mentor or a teacher, like someone older than you that you can, or not necessarily, but like someone like that you can talk to about.
Yeah, my cat listens. Actually, both of them did pretty well.
But we had about we had almost 150 people saying that yeah they do have people that they can have those conversations with, but then about 30% said only like no or sometimes, and then we had a lot of smaller like short answers that were like yes but I don't feel that, but they're not super comfortable, or like no, a lot of the like, or like in certain situations things like
I
that.
feel like that too. Like, I feel like about certain topics I can talk to someone older, but about most, like just about my life, like fully open, I don't really think I have someone that's older that I can talk to. Like people my age, I think I do, but I don't know.
Like for me, like I can definitely have like a lot of conversations with like my older brother, because like it's
Yeah,
Like
but
we-
can you talk about everything though?
Well, I've like
most things, you know, like it really depends. But like
Yeah.
on
I had my
subject-
girlfriend.
I don't really talk about my emotions much. That's kind of bad.
You're one of those
But
like
like, it's kind of true.
Male suicide rates are way higher than women because
Yeah.
men
Yeah, I
don't
can
talk about
understand
their
why.
feelings.
I don't know what they're feeling.
Men don't talk about their feelings.
Just,
it's not
are you
good.
okay?
You need
I'm
to-
fine.
That's because like we've been like indoctrinated into like thinking that.
Yeah.
God.
masculinity.
That's true. No, because like I really like I don't like even cause like especially now like I don't talk to my dad about like things that I'm feeling. Like,
But do
that's
you
just
think that if you
weird.
had, but if you had the
like,
exact,
Dad, I had a bad day. At school.
Dad,
Like, we're gonna look at each other like, what the fuck are you talking about?
no, yeah, like, cause like this, but that's the thing is because like the whole
Oh my
consensus
God.
is that like if a guy goes to like a therapist and he's like, oh, like, then the therapist is also a guy and the therapist is like, oh, like, what's up? And he goes like, he's just gonna respond with nothing. The fuck's wrong with you or something.
Yeah, no, that actually, I had the exact experience. I went to
Exactly.
a therapist and like he was literally like, you're fine. And I was like, oh, I was like, let's go.
That's so
Then go to a girl
invalidating.
therapist.
You need to take your like feelings seriously.
Yeah.
A great example of what not to do.
But in terms of like mental health, like do we think that it's like I personally think it's really beneficial to have someone that you can talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
100%.
that's-
Absolutely, yeah.
Like,
I
to
have
have
my mom.
completely open conversations like without feeling like you have to hide something.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
it doesn't have to be like a parent or a counselor.
Yeah.
Just even talking to your friends or siblings. That
Or
kind
your
of
cat.
stuff.
About stuff that you like
Your
know,
dog.
like in a safe place where you know you can't be judged for it. You know?
Yeah,
I feel like that's really helpful.
Yeah, I definitely know that I'm like really open with like practically everything about my mom, with my mom. So like every time like I talk to her about like a situation that's happening and I'm like I'm uncomfortable with this or this is happening and I'm like I don't know what to do. I always like I love the fact that I can talk to her and get like an honest response from her that isn't, well, like I want to say it isn't biased, but it definitely is because she's my mom. But like at the same time, she also gives me her honest opinion because she's brutal like that. So
Free therapy.
yeah, it's something that definitely helps me.
Like
Yeah.
for me, like my parents want me to talk to them about like everything. Like literally 2 hours ago, my dad was trying to get me to talk about something, and I was like, yeah, like giving really vague answers because I feel like I don't know, cause like when I was little, they wouldn't really be like, okay, tell me about your feelings and stuff, and so it's
Yeah,
kind
like
of
a
been,
lot
like,
of kids lost connections with.
like
their
I still have
parents.
close relationship with my parents. It's just with that kind of thing. Like I don't like talking about my emotions
Yeah.
with my parents.
It's not someone. It doesn't necessarily have to be like one person that
But, like,
you talk
I
about
talk-
everything with.
Like
just
I'll
like
talk to my little sister about stuff,
yeah.
but like
I haven't heard my brother talk about his emotions in like 4 years. I don't
Yeah.
think I haven't
I
heard
think
him
it's a
cry.
family thing.
I haven't
Yeah,
heard
'cause
him
wait,
cry.
are you a house of just guys?
Yeah, it has been for the last like 5
Yeah,
years.
because I remember like
Yeah.
the only thing is like I would hear my brother cry one time and it was like when my parents got divorced, right? And so it was just like that was the only time that I had ever heard him like express emotion that wasn't screaming at the TV.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Oh yeah, men can only express being mad.
But the thing is like
Just being
it's not that they can only express, it's just that they don't want to express anything else.
Yeah, exactly. That no, I'm saying what's acceptable.
They just use it. They
Yeah,
just turn
true.
it into anger.
Mm.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, but like for me, like personally, like I feel like I can talk to my brother about a lot of stuff, and like I know he cares, and I know he's like okay. There's specific things I won't talk to him about. Older,
yeah. But I
like
think,
there's specific things I won't tell him about, like relationship stuff, because like that's just weird for us. But like I know that he like doesn't tell me about a lot of stuff like necessarily like with his life that's going on because like maybe he's just not because I know we're very comfortable with each other. But like it's just he doesn't tell me about as much stuff about his life that I tell him, you know?
Mm.
And I feel like it doesn't change the fact that
And that's just how it is. Like that's just the dynamic.
yeah, it doesn't change the fact that I trust him any less. It's just like
But we all need.
I know
like,
I can have an open conversation, you know?
But what we've kind of concluded is that everyone really needs that one person to kind of talk to and express their emotions without judgment because they need to get it off their chest. I mean, you're bottling up all your emotions. You're gonna break at one point. Does anyone else want to give their kind of opinions on this?
No, I think that pretty much sums it up.
All right. Well, that's all we have.
Thank you for listening to our podcast series.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
What up? I'm Justin.
All right.
All right,
Please
bye-bye.
take mental health seriously and
Go talk to someone if you feel like you're in a bad place.
yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.